Morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the live stream this Sunday morning here where I'm at. If you don't know where you're at, check the title. It's Tweet FAV. Welcome to the live stream. This is my Sunday live stream. It is 10 o'clock where I'm at, 10 o'clock in the morning. Welcome, everybody. The stream is powered by coffee, as always. I'm actually at the point where I think I need to stop drinking coffee to kind of like re-baseline myself because it's not doing a whole lot for me anymore. Anywho, weather looks great. This week has been actually a fairly decent weather week. Just been busy, as I'm sure most people are. Week two of no traditional uploads. I spent a good bit of time doing a review on the Radiomaster TX12 Mark II versus the Mark I and the Zorro. Got down to editing it, and OBS, it f***ed me good. No audio, so real demotivating there. So anyways, it's probably gonna be a weird video because I'm gonna re-record the intro and the outro on it, and then all the teardown stuff I'm just gonna voice over it because well, it's easy to do that. But anyways, I hope everybody's having a good day, good weekend. Hope everybody gets a chance to fly. If you got the good weather and you don't have packs charging, go charge some packs. Don't stick around watching this if the weather's good. Go on, go fly. Anyone else hearing an echo? It's hard for me to know what you guys are hearing. I hear what should be going out through OBS all the time through my headset. It's one of the things that I do to make sure that the audio is at least somewhat decent. But I don't know. No echoes. Huh. Well, I mean, it's a possibility. I need to change the way my audio setup is. I'm tired of this big-ass microphone thing. I got it up over my screen, the Power 3D printing. I had to print a spacer about yay high and jam a steel rod into it to get it up over the monitors. 3D printing is one powerful tool if you know what to do. So many people I know, so many people getting into 3D printing, but don't have the first clue on how to do anything other than just print what other people have made. I keep talking about this 5 best 3D prints for FPV, blah, 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 that I've been talking about. And I'm finding I'm going back and I'm redesigning other people's prints this week. So that video is very much delayed because I am going through iteration after iteration after iteration of redesigning people's work to suit my needs. This little guy here, this is a really cool design, but it was lacking for my needs, so certain adjustments must be made. And you know, like 3D printing's just, I'd say, like 1% of the whole thing. Like, you got to learn how to make your own prints, how to edit people's designs, make your own designs. Why is this thing all screwed up now? YouTube streamer gets distracted. Shiny. There we go. God, I love 3D printed threaded things. Look at this. This is just beautiful. Everything's printed in PETG or ABS because Mamba didn't raid his old bitch. We don't use PLA around here. Good morning, everybody. If I didn't say that already, Maniac FPV, thank you for coming out today. One Vision Aerial says, I want bacon with bacon. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, of course, I posted the Bacon Pancake song from Adventure Time, and it's overdubbed with New York, New York by, I don't know who the hell that is, somebody. That is a earworm and a half. There's also a mix where it's an hour and a half long on YouTube. If you guys haven't had a chance to see that, click the link. It's worth it. Very worth it. Bobby Bass, good morning. How are you doing? Robbie Store from the Great White North. Thank you so much for coming up, buddy. Hopefully your trip will go smoothly. Borton Upshot says, I think those are the gates I need. I think you're probably referring to the intro video that YouTube allows me to tag. Those are just standard 5x5 multi-GP spec gates, slanging that bad boy through it. That was one of those days that IDGAF, and I just sent it. That thing takes up basically the entire gate, so you got to be money through that. I'm afraid bacon pancakes just ruined my YouTube algorithm. Yes, Mike Bergman, it has a way of doing that. It has a way of doing that. Experience Chicken, good morning. How are you, Mike Bergman? Oh boy, lots of people in here complain about the algorithm. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm is a fickle beast, and I don't think the people who at YouTube even understand the YouTube algorithm. They're like, oh, we made it, and it's just alive. It's doing its own thing. It's freaking Skynet. Did anybody notice last week that Joshua Bardwell had an Idiocracy reference in his live stream? Did anybody catch that? I know I did. Bork, good morning. How you doing? Rick Cepeda, welcome to the live stream. Rick Cepeda does some really cool live streams over on his Discord channel. F with all the YouTube copyright monetization, jackety jack bullshit. He's doing it over there, and they're quite engaging. Feel free to just do audio. You can do video if you want. It does get a little chaotic with everybody talking, but it's just like any group of people. You just kind of wait your turn and get in when you can. He's got another live stream. Let's see, Saturday mornings he does FPV related live stream, and then Sunday evenings it's mostly 3D printing based. Big into 3D printing, and I think he's got a job working for a 3D printer distributor. He's talking about his new printer. It's the Elegoo something or other. Sounds like a pretty dang nice first printer for somebody, if that's who you're gonna go with. Can't remember what the name of it was, but it was an Elegoo. Neptune? Is it a Neptune? I could be wrong, but sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a very good printer. Unlike my Voron, which I want to strangle. It's one of the most inconsistent printers I've ever owned. It works great, and then it just says, see you for a week. Just turn it off for a week, let it sit, and it'll work fine. It's just so inconsistent. I have no idea why. As a matter of fact, this last print just crapped out on it. I have no idea why. I've been printing nonstop all week, and now it's just like, nah, we're done. You filled your quota for the week. No more for you. So annoying. So annoying. And the problem is, anytime I try to talk about my issues with the Voron, the whole Voron and the Clipper community are like, nope, it's you. No, best printer on the face of the planet. It can't be you, or it can't be the printer. It's got to be you. And I'm like, I guess maybe, but I don't see how print to print I get wildly different results. I'll have 10 prints identical, perfect, and the next one's just yeah, I'm gonna print 2 millimeters above the bed and make spaghetti soup for you. Usually when the ones that I hit print, I walk away. That's when that does that. Might be the underpants gnomes. I have no idea. Mike Berger says I've spent a lot of time in Tinkercad. I like Tinkercad, but you know what I found is working really well for me, especially editing STLs, is Microsoft 3D Maker. Or 3D Builder. This program has been extremely. Damn you, OBS! Why do you change my monitors every freaking time? Maybe I just need to reassign these to different. Why do you do this? There we go. All right, we're gonna go through the rigmarole. All right, let's fix them all. Well, that one's right. That's wrong. Every dang time. There we go. All right. back to 3. Yeah, so Microsoft 3D Builder has been pretty nice. There's a few things I don't like about it, like you can't align models, or if you can, I haven't figured out how to do it. But this works really well. You know, you can just use primitive stuff to add, subtract, and do things like that. But this has been really easy to use, especially since Tinkercad is a bit on the slow side, especially if you have rub 2 sticks together internet like I do. This works pretty good. But you know, if you're in 3D printing, download yourself a copy of Fusion 360. It's free for hobbyists, and just start. There's a ton of tutorials. You got to keep using it though, otherwise you forget that stuff, or at least I do anyways. Fusion 360, yeah, that is the drafting software for me of choice. There's so much to do in Fusion 360 that, you know, I'm fairly proficient at, but I'm just barely scratching the surface of it, and it is fairly GPU intensive. If my stream starts stuttering right now, it's because I opened up Fusion 360, and you know, Fusion is their creative line. You know, you're limited to having 10 open projects at a time, which is not really a big deal, but just the way this program works is unlike Tinkercad. This is very detailed, like the things you can do with it. And also what I use it for is I also use the manufacturing aspect side of it with my CNC router to do subtractive manufacturing, not just additive. Additive being we're squirting stuff on a bed to make stuff. We're doing subtractive, which is I have a sheet of something and I'm taking stuff away to make something. So it's all built in. Like I said, Lawrence, you're right. It is an entire hobby of its own. Not just the printing of the stuff, but the designing of the stuff is an entire hobby. Like, I'll spend an entire day redesigning stuff, and I look outside like, oh shit, it's dark already. Time just gone. People always ask me, what's the best 3D printer? It's your buddy's. Your buddy's printer is the best 3D printer. You'd be super happy to just make a couple bucks. You throw them a couple bucks for a print. They're usually pretty happy with it, but yeah, you know, I mean, I know we haven't hit FPV at all yet, but you know, we're warming up to it. I consider 3D printing an FPV. Best of buds. They all work together. Yeah, it's one of those weird things. I don't remember if I got into FPV or 3D printing first. I think it was at the same time. Born Up says now I'm printing about 90% of my own stuff, occasionally printing something I download. I print a fair bit of stuff I download, but I tend to edit and make changes to the things that I download because they just don't exist. Like, it's nice starting off with a good rough product, and then, you know, why reinvent the wheel when I can just, you know, add a few knobbies to it. Yeah. Got a nice, cool new t-shirt. Collective, I've washed it once and it's already bacon necking on it. Ciati, hey, whoever's supplying your shirts, I think it's probably Teespring. These suck. These are terrible shirts. They feel nice, but they do not hold up to more than like one washing. It's kind of annoying. Not that he's here. William McEwen, how you doing, buddy? Finally jumping on the DJI bandwagon. Congratulations, your life is ruined. It's hard. You can't go back. It's so hard to go back. So hard to go back. Yeah. Lawrence, not racing today, I'm assuming, since you're here. 25 people, hit that like button. Hey, man. Dan, you running multicolor prints with MMU or equivalent? Yes, I have MMU2 on my Prusa. Back there. I don't really use it for multicolor prints. I've done a few, but I use it more for not having to constantly load and unload my filament. And the big thing I like the most about it is a feature called spool joining. I print a lot of black PETG. That's my material of choice for prototyping is black PETG. I'll load up 3 or 4, you know, like when you get down to like just a little bit of a spool, I'll load up like all 4 spools that have, you know, just like 20 wraps on it, and when it's done with one, it goes up. I'm out of material. Ejects the old one, squirts in the new one, and it will. I mean, I'm left with a piece of filament about yay long that is waste that the machine won't use. So the spool joining feature is the thing for me, especially because I'm a very much a set it and forget it. I hit print and I just walk away, especially with the Prusa. It's so reliable. Unless I'm doing something crazy, it's gonna print, like every time, like every time. I can't remember how many thousands of hours I have on that printer. Actually, I can fire it up and I'll figure that out here in a few minutes. But that printer is unbelievably reliable. The MMU2 adds a bit of unreliability to it, but for the most part, the fact that YouTube does this jumpy thing. I don't know where the hell we're at anyways. Anyways, if you want to ask me a question, type @TweetFV in the old chatty box there. It'll light up in orange, just like this guy here, Morton Upshot. And I'll try to get to your comment. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume you guys are talking amongst each other, and if I don't answer your question, it's because you didn't do it that way. Or just keep asking your question, whatever. Anybody in blue, they're moderators. They're able to kick, block, and post links, which is the big thing there. And if you want focus, super focus, always hit that super chat at the bottom there, and we'll devote some time to you. The monkey's here. Hello. Good morning. Go. Hit the bricks. Wow, I had a train of thought and I fell off it. Anyways, with the Prusa, it's super reliable. The MMU2 adds a bit of unreliability to it, but you have to spend a good like 3 or 4 days tuning and tweaking that thing. The one I have on there is actually a clone. I bought all the parts through AliExpress, Triangle Labs. They sell the main board. Everything Prusa makes is open source, so anybody can copy it. They sold all the hard parts and the main board for it, and the steppers. I printed all the parts out. And the thing that I found with the MMU2 that makes it more reliable is using crap PTFE tubing. The stuff that is just loosey-goosey on the inside, has a big inner diameter. That's the stuff you want. Fortunately, it makes it very cheap. I tried doing all Capricorn. God, it was expensive, and it just never worked because Capricorn is way too precise on the inner diameter of that stuff. All right, I need to go back through the chat here. I have no idea where we're at. Talking about echoes from SCO, like a tin sound. Nope. Anybody else hear it? I don't see it. Clear as mugfug. We're running around Discord and eating channel spamming, verifying message. Yeah, okay, Bork. Yeah, big deal. People are finding good ways to exploit Discord. Somebody posts a link on Discord and you don't recognize it, or you don't recognize them, and it just seems weird. I wouldn't click on it. People have been losing YouTube channels, losing access to Discord. All my moderators have to have 2-factor authentication through Discord to kind of combat that. So do I. If I don't, I have 2FA on because too many people are losing their entire channels. People are losing their entire YouTube channels, and YouTube is not a lot of help restoring that. Morton Opshut says, if you get bored, I post a troubleshooting video in the live stream and Discord chat. Yes, I have that. We'll get to that in a minute. If for some reason I forget to get to that, just say something, man. Oh, wow, I'm way down here. There we go. Rick Spade says, yeah, it's the Elegoo Neptune 3. It seemed like it was extremely affordable, and it is just feature packed. Rick, how many parts have you had to print for your printer to make your printer print? 'Cause that's always the thing with the budget printers. $209. Holy bejeebus! That is, go away. That is cheap. Solid construction. BL Touch, or probably a clone, I'm assuming. Touch screen interface. PSU mounted to the side of it. Whatever. Carrying handle, who cares? It is a Bowden setup. Not my fave. I have no use for a Bowden setup ever. I see zero advantages to them except for reducing weight on the gantry. But most manufacturers that are budget that use a Bowden system, they put way too much crap on their weak ass gantry anyways. So yeah, there's that. All metal extruder, that's good. Run out detection, good. It's got all the bells and whistles. What's the build platform size? 220 by 280. That's pretty big. That'd be a pretty strong contender for first printer. Anyways, Rue Moon Coffee, if you want to get yourself a discount on some awesome roasted coffee, use coupon code TweetFPV for $1.50 off each item. My buddy Brent makes the stuff. I work with him. Great dude. Deserves a look. Makes damn good coffee. And he's also doing K-Cups now with fresh roasted coffee. There is a little bit of give and take with those things. Sometimes you get a little bit of at the bottom of the cup, but it's fresh. Mike Bergman says, I want what is this? I want something between Tinkercad and Fusion 360. Microsoft 3D Builder. It's included with Windows licenses. If you don't have it on your computer, I believe you could probably add it later through the features or through the App Store, I believe. Microsoft Store. I believe that's where you can add it. Let's look. This has become a very 3D printing heavy stream. If it's boring some of you folks, sorry. Yeah, here it is. It's available through the Windows builds or the Windows Store. It's called 3D Builder. It's a pretty good compromise between Tinkercad and Fusion 360. Some things it does great, some things it doesn't. It uses a 3MF file format, which is what all 3D models should be going to, is 3MF instead of STL. 3MF also carries like extra data, especially for multi-material prints. If you have more than one section of a print devoted to a different tool head, it is all embedded in that 3MF design. So 3MF is the way it should go. I think they're just a little bit larger files, but yeah. Anyways, Morton says my Fusion 360 educational license just expired. I need to figure out how to change it to hobbyist. I don't think there are any features in the. No, there isn't unless you are doing subtractive manufacturing. I think the only thing you don't get is rapids. So, but if you're that person, you know you need. If you're that person, you know you need the full license. And then, if you need prints, Brain 3D. Yep, that's always a way. Also in Fusion 360 is a PCB mockup now, which I think they bought Eagle Tree Vector a long time ago, and now they've actually like stuck it into Fusion 360. So it's your one-stop shop for everything. I've been very disappointed with Teespring. My JB pullover started peeling off 2 weeks after I bought it. Morton, when that happened, did you go back to Teespring and be like, dude, WTF? Like, T-shirt springs have weird necks. This is a very comfortable shirt. I like the material. It's kind of like that tri-blend. Oh man. But yeah, this whole bacon neck thing, it irritates me, and I don't know how to fix that if there even is a way. One Visionero asked, do you do 3D printing for others wanting to get another printed Nazgul 5? Absolutely. I'm always available to do 3D printing, and I won't gouge you. Yeah, if I don't really advertise it. Same thing with CNC stuff. I do CNC carbon. I don't do a lot of it, and I don't typically advertise it. I usually kind of do it for I do it for people that I know that don't want to go through like CNC madness and pay their rates. But yeah. This monkey sneaking everywhere, no thank you. Hey, thanks. What's up, buddy? Welcome back. Buyback says, I can't freaking wait any longer for the TBS V2 gimbals. I want to use my Tango 2 again. Yeah, you know, the Tango 2 is a good radio, but I think there's better options out there now. Well, I don't know. There's not definitively better, but there are other options. The gimbals on the Tango 2 were okay, but they have an inherent flaw, in my opinion, in the basic design of that gimbal, because the stick and the Nirvana has the same issue, except for they built it better so it doesn't suffer from creep like the Tango gimbals do. The issue is the gimbal itself, the whirly deal with the stick on it, this guy, and the sensing element are on two separate planes. They are separate from each other, so as the gimbal and the top shell of the radio expand and contract, especially with temperature, that sensing element may be moving at a different rate or in a different plane, so you do get a ton of creep on them, especially when you have like large temperature swings. Whereas like the gimbal on like a typical radio gimbal, the sensing element and the gimbal are all kind of integrated into the same plane of existence, you know, like on the front half of the radio. Let me grab a gimbal. I have one on the bench right here, and I'll kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. Dogs are here to visit. It's been a while. 2 of the 3. Good little pups. That was a nice segue because I basically hit the wrong button. So here is a gimbal. Here is your traditionally designed gimbal. This is a potentiometer gimbal. A Hall effect gimbal looks very similar to this. There's not a lot of difference except for the actual sensing element's different. But you see, it's all one piece. The way that the Tango 2 gimbal works is there's a magnet right here at the base of the gimbal, so you get the fore and aft and the left to right deflection on that magnet. There is no sensing element on this piece. Makes them extremely cheap to produce because doesn't have to be modular, there doesn't have to be any plugs or anything like that. Now the sensing element's on the PCB mounted on the other half of the shell. So the sensing element is just a little black square about probably about yay big if that were a square, and it senses that little magnet swinging around above it, left, right, up, and down, and that change of lines of magnetic flux are what the radio interprets for the movement of the gimbal. So now I have 2 separate planes of existence. The top half has the gimbal, top half of the shell, and the bottom half has the PCB. So if there's any flex, just a nanometer back and forth, it can actually make quite a big difference in what it's reading. Plus, you do have some distortion on the edges. So the gimbal swings in a plane that is square, or the radio interprets it as a square, because this is what they're all designed for. The problem with the Tango gimbals is they can only swing kind of like this, and I find that there's lost resolution because of the fact that it swings. It's very much like a Delta printer, if you know how a Delta printer works. But yeah, those are the issues I've had with the Tango gimbals, and the Mambo as well. Same setup, same configuration. Sorry for the deep dive into the gimbology. Gimbal Luigi. Also, if you have potentiometer gimbals and you're experiencing drift and jitters, there's magnets on the end of them, and they get covered in magnetic shit. Clean them off. It usually helps out. Gave up waiting and got a TX12 with AG01s. Yeah, so the TX12 Mark II now comes with Hall effect gimbals as opposed to the V1. That was, these are actually the gimbals out of the V1 are these ones here, the potentiometer ones. You can see there's the potentiometer right there on the side. Focus. This piece right here. That's the actual sensing element. And there's physical contact between the stick here and the pickup and the wiper there. And this is why people have always stressed putting gimbal protection on your radios, because you have that physical connection, and the constant back and forth and the jarringness can ruin the pickup. Whereas Hall effect, there is no physical connection between the gimbal and the sensing element. And that's why I don't give two about having gimbal protection. As long as my sticks don't break, which if my sticks break, I don't know if there's a whole lot of gimbal protectors that are going to actually fix it. "3MF sounds dirty." Yeah, it does. There was that mount maker program. Yeah, I forgot about that. What? Anybody have a link to that? I forgot what that was. 3MF tried to jump me once. Good one. Good one. Raven, what's up, buddy? How you doing this morning? Don't drop your tango. Snap my SD card in half. Oh, how does that happen? How do you snap? Oh, I've snapped an SD card in half before. An SD card fell on the ground. I ran it over with my rolling chair. That I get, but man, that's crazy. Ciati, what's up, brother? Yeah, I love the shirt, but one wash and this thing kind of is starting to bake a neck on me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the one I got. But I absolutely love the shirt. It's a great shirt. I love the material, color, the design, awesome. I'll stick with the TX16S, yeah. I mean, TX16S is by far the most popular radio on the market right now. I don't like it, but I have my reasons. Flying Ryan said, I got the TX12 Mark II ELRS. Heard you liked it. Thought I'd try it out. Hopefully use that affiliate link. If not, no big deal. I do like it. I like it a lot. There are some things I would change about it that do kind of annoy me. The biggest one is just the battery rattling around in the thing like a Coke can full of rocks. A little bit of foam. Fix that up. And I don't like the fact that it charges through the battery bay on it. Like, why do I have to open up a door to charge my radio? Whereas the V1, it charged to the top. I mean, obviously I'm not an electrical engine nerd, but yeah. Morton says, no, I didn't contact Teespring about the print quality. I just wrote them off as poor quality. The hoodie otherwise was wonderful. It feels great. Yeah, I usually wear a hoodie to death. I don't have a ton of wardrobe. Mostly I wear work shirts, which are navy blue. And then I have a bunch of shirts from Jack Edwards. It's a FBO out where I'm at. They used to give you a free shirt every time you went in there for fuel, and I just stocked up. I had a shirt for every day of the week. They're comfortable, but they're all kind of getting worn out. I did the FPV Lux crate for a little while to kind of boost up my wardrobe. So I did them, and then I also did FPV crate, their full-size box, because they included shirts. The extra large from one company to another kind of varies a bit. So yeah, split the shell and break the card. Yeah, charging on the V2 is dumb AF. Where is that radio at? I feel like I've talked about this radio enough on the live stream that I don't really know if I have to actually do a review video on it. But gotta make that algorithm happy. 2 weeks without posting a video, and I think it gets grumpy. Yeah, so V1 versus V2. Let's zoom that sucker out there. The V1 charged through the top there. Also, all you're hearing there are just the momentary switches clicking around, and the trim switches. This one. That's the battery bouncing around in there. And here's the deal: is to charge it, you got to go through this port here. And I believe that's also for ExpressLRS firmware updates. Whereas the top here is file manager access, and simming is through here. That, and I don't like the gimbal sticks on it. It's just that's all personal preference. I usually don't talk about that because everybody has their own preference. I don't think anybody uses the stock stick ends that come with their radios, but they're just too long for me. But Hall effect gimbals, this one came with potentiometers, came with these guys. But when I upgraded this to the AGO 1 minis, I took these out of here and plopped them in here. So this is Hall effect as well. So 250 milliwatts, confirmed with the IRC power meter. What I would probably try doing. Ooh. Now I'm gonna save that for a video. I'm not telling you here. I just had a hell of an idea as far as charging goes, but yeah, I'll save that for another video. I need to write it down because I'm gonna forget it. I don't have any short-term memory anymore. All right, I wrote it down, but I guarantee you I'm not going to be able to read it later because it's so freaking sloppy. My handwriting is hot trash. Work provides money for clothing. Yeah, it does for me too, but that's beer fund. I wish I could wear shorts at work. Flying Ryan says, I put the AGO 1 gimbals on it, make it a lot better. No, it doesn't. The AGO 1 gimbals, in my opinion, make absolutely no difference in anything on the radio. They look nice, and they have a more they have a more satisfying clunk to them at the extremes. But I think they're a waste of $100. I'll be quite honest. If you're replacing other Hall effect gimbals, like on what come with the Zorro or the Mark II, I think they're a waste of money. If you're replacing the potentiometer ones out of like the V1 TX12, yeah, it's a worthwhile upgrade. But I think you could probably get a hold of a set of Hall effect gimbals somebody took out of their Zorro for pennies, and that would be the economical bang for the buck way that I would go with it. Mike Berger says, I like the AGO one specifically, their looks, because of their looks. Thank you for being honest. I like the way they look a lot. I think they look damn nice. But is it worth $100? I don't think so. That's just my opinion, though. I like to see more aux switches on the TX12 that I could use for iNav, but I decided I got two 1860 batteries installed. I had to use a bit of force to get them in, and it's only charge USB. Aux switches you can use. Morton Upshot, when you say more aux switches for iNav, what? The 6 that it has are not enough? Do you need more than that for iNav? I'm curious what you mean by it needs more aux switches. Like, you need more physical switches? I need 2 million switches. I'm assuming that was a million. I didn't actually count the zeros. Like, honestly, I need, like, 2 switches. More physical 3-position switches. I gotcha. So it's got 4 3-position switches. You could... I mean, you can always... I don't know what you would do about that. You can assign those trim switches. You can make these sticky switches if you need them to be more switches. Yeah, I mean, there's... well, if he's doing iNav, he probably wants his trim switches to do trim. 1 to arm, 1 to turtle. Yep, that's basically it. I used to tie my turtle mode with the D-Shot beeper, but on 4.2 I was having some funky issues with it, so I stopped doing that. But yeah, 2 switches, 1 arm, 1 to turtle, and that can even be the same switch. It can be. It probably shouldn't, but it can be. All right, let's drop this in here. All right, so I've posted the light list if anybody needs a refresher on the light list, if you want to be able to control this mess back here of lights. LumiStream here will eventually squirt out all the commands, and you can do what you want with them. Enjoy. It's not easy. 1 more, just 1 or 2 more. Arm, flight mode, beeper, crash flip, GPS rescue are my 3 positions. Added pre-arm on a momentary. Arm, flight mode. So, Morton, what's the other functions you need for more switches? Arm and flight mode are 1 switch. Beeper, crash flip, and GPS rescue are my 3 positions. Well, you can double up your beeper and crash flip to be the same position on a switch. And this is also beta flight. I'm not sure if iNav is any different. And same thing with GPS rescue. Well, no, not with GPS rescue. You can't do that. Add a pre-arm to a momentary. Yeah, that's always a good idea. For me, and the way I've always done it, arm is on the left, and arm is in the up position. And I always fly basically with my finger on the arm switch. And if something happens, it's just push away. I know there's a lot of people that like to do the crap and they pull towards themselves, but that's... I also like all my switches in the up position when I start the radio, so it doesn't give me any stupid warnings. I know you can clear that and remove switches from that, but I always do left hand and push away for disarm. Wish someone did a beta flight wing setup video. I'm sure that there's some out there. I mean, there's got to be. Painless 360, if anybody, I would assume would have a wing setup video. Toggle OSD, waypoints. I've done all right without them. Okay. You could assign one of your momentary switches to be a sequential switch. So let's say you had toggle OSD. Let's say you had like 3 different OSD elements and you wanted a switch to between each one. You could assign like this momentary switch here to, using the OpenTX logic, you could make that every time you push it incrementally increase an aux channel until you get to a certain point. Then it would wrap back around, like so. Like like stock would be like profile 1, push it again, it'll move to profile 2 because you can assign that to a logical switch to an aux channel, and you can cycle through them with that. Might be more ideas. Fucking JB beats me to it. Anyways, Currency W asks not to get away from FPV talk again. No worries, man. We talk about everything here. But do you happen to use a water-cooled spindle on your CNC, trying to come up with a good, cheap glycol solution? No, I don't. I use a DeWalt trim router. It's not great, but it works. Wrong way? Yep, that's the way I do it. See a lot of Mo2 guys using arm on the left hand. I'm arm right hand, push pull disarm. Yeah, so I use arm on the left hand, and then I use turtle mode on the right, and that's specifically because with racing, I want to, especially like whoop racing, if I crash, I want to disarm turtle mode, arm, do my shit, disarm, rearm real quick to get up and away. And in the goggles, it's faster to have your fingers on the 2 switches you need to use. Same thing with changing flight modes. I can take my hand off the pitch roll stick all day long and then manipulate a switch, whereas I really can't do that super easily with, it's all up in here, it's what seems good to me. Yeah, logging with ARM. I start logging, black box logging, and ARM all on the same switch as well. I want Betaflight 9.5. Yeah. Yeah, that's not for me. I don't do wings. I want to, I just don't. Remember profiles on switch. Wish we could change PID profiles on a switch too. I wish we could, yes. Yeah. I did that pre-arm. I did that with pre-arm. I know it's doable, but I'm lazy. I'm still learning. I was thrilled I got my telemetry mapped and logged to my radio finally. Yeah, I had a video long time ago about logging telemetry data to your radio. It's really useful feature if you're doing long range flights and you have GPS. You can log the GPS coordinates from your telemetry and everything else to the SD card of your radio. So say you crashed and you don't know where your quad's at, you lost video or whatever, and you were still getting telemetry, you'll have a known last location from telemetry to your radio. I mean, at least you can maybe narrow it down, but yeah. Yeah, left arm has been a thing since early Tyrannus, so it stuck for me. Yeah, that was like the first radios, and they had 2-position switch on the left-hand side, so that's just what I went with. Yeah, so, this is just an example. This is not the radio I use, but it'll be arm, and then if I have to turtle mode, I'll... Well, I don't like this radio. It's got a 2-position switch, 3-position switch here. Here's the way I really do it. I should just grab this to show. So I always have my arming on a 2-position switch, and my turtle mode is on a momentary. This one right here. So what happens, flying, shit, I crash, hold the turtle mode button, arm, and then it's disarm, rearm. And that takes away two switch manipulations. So fly, crash, disarm, hold the button, arm, disarm, rearm, good to go. Sometimes this is actually too fast for beta flight, and you'll do, and it'll stay in turtle mode. So this is actually sometimes too fast for beta flight to register that you stop clicking. At least with the older protocols like D8, D16, it was too fast. So one more time, just for example, fly, crash, turtle mode, and I'm up and away. That's the way I do it. That is the fastest way I've found to manipulate the turtle mode switch, and it makes a difference. It really does. Also, I could just not f***ing crash, but you know, there's that. Let's see, current GW. We went to Walmart to pick up 16 gallons of distilled water for... Got a lot of weird looks. Weird. Maniac asks, what's a good KV for 3S 3-inch freestyle quad on 1404 motors? Kind of a higher KV. Yeah, you're probably going to want to be upwards around the 45,000 to 48. Sorry, not thousand. 4,800 to 4,000 kV motor. You can always go high and motor limit them down until you get to where you want to be. But I would say, yeah, probably 4,500 is kind of what I would shoot for. 48 would be fine. The X-Lite Pro, I really like that radio because it had momentary buttons on it, whereas the original X-Lite did not. And Mike Berger, yeah, crashing, not crashing is too much, for sure. Maniac says, sweet, I got 4,100 kV. Didn't know if that was too high. No, it's not too high. If anything, that might actually be, might be a little bit on the low side. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking backwards. You're probably gonna want to be around 3,500 to 4,000. You can always go high. You can't go. You can't make more kV out of what you have. So, for some reason, I have a brain block. I always think of higher voltage, higher kV, and I know it's the other way around. Lower kV, higher voltage. So, like a 4S, I'd be like 2,700 to 3,000. 3S, you'd want to go higher. Not enough coffee. Ignore everything I just said. Higher voltage, lower kV. 4S, probably like 2,700, 3,000. 3S, probably 4,000, 4,500, something like that. But I think you'll be just fine with what you got there. Tiny turners are 1404, 4533. I'm sure they're exactly that kV. And that's intended to run on 3S. So I think it'd be just fine. And if they get too hot, you can motor scale them down. But, yep, it all depends on the weight and what pitch prop you run and all that shit. Ciotti is definitely the man for the micros. He'll definitely be able to get you. He'll get you the right brand of motor as well. But what motors do you have already? Hey Speedy, how you doing today, man? 250 grams you want on 3S 3-inch 6,000 kV. Whew, man, do you motor scale those down, or do you just run them as is? And also depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying for like super face ripping acro, then yeah, higher kV. But if you're looking for a bit more efficiency, like long range cruising, lower kV is going to help. Let them eat. Nice. So much work setting up a new double wide. Never done it. Would be interesting though. Oh man, I'm out of coffee. This is gonna suck. Motor scale changed the hobby. It really did. I still think it's better to actually match the motors physically to the, you know, rather than just going out and buying the highest kV motor you can possibly have. I think it's still better to get in the ballpark than to just say YOLO and buy the highest kV motor you can get, because the motors they physically have a different internal resistance to that. Physical internal resistance than they would if you were just, you know, between two motors, a higher or low kV motor. More windings, more material. But yeah, it's a good way to get kind of everything you kind of need. I have run 6S on like 2700 kV motors. It was stupid. They got hot and they drew a ton of amps. Speaking turtle. Oh man. No, I always I've seen them going down the road. I've always wondered how the hell it is the two halves kind of go together and make a house. It's a huge upgrade, yeah. All right. Sorry, Morton. I totally forgot about your thing you got going on here. I had it open. I don't know what the hell happened to it. It just kind of disappeared. Where we at? OBS is weird so the way I run OBS is I've got docs going, and I have the YouTube chat, the Discord chat, and I've also got my light settings here going on in the back. But when I click a link for something, OBS opens it up in basically like its own OBS tab, which is kind of funky. But anyways, Morton had a video here. He's obviously running so let's get the backstory. So he uploaded a video from his DVR where his GPS rescue warning took off with 12 sats, locked about a minute and a half into the video, about 7 minutes real life. Get a warning with 12 sats, still not locked, GPS rescue is not available. And his return home distance direction are blank, number of sats is blinking. It's the first time he's ever seen this. So like we see here, he's got 12 sats. By the time he takes off, he's got his marker to home, he's got his distance from home, he's got 11 sats. We get up to about, where are we at here? So right here, come on, work with me here. Come on. All right, so still got 12 sats. Now he's getting rescue NA. 12 sats are flashing. Basically, my guess here is your GPS module is probably dying. A lot of the cheap M8N, the BN M8N GPSs that come with the quads, they're rated to run at 5 volts, but most people wire them up with 5, and that causes a very shortened life. Basically, what this looks like to me is it has just lost all signal from GPS. If you were to have lost sats, it would have just gone to, see right there. This is loss of information. There is no data coming in. That's flashing. Also, fun fact: if you're on DJI and you see 14 satellites, you have 0. For some reason, with DJI MSP OSD overlay with 0 sats, it shows 14. If you see 14 in your GPS sats on DJI, just assume you have 0. Just a heads up. And also, if you have don't allow takeoff without satellite fix, it's not going to let you take off, which is, you know, just something to note. But anyways, this looks like a loss of data right here. Complete loss of data. Maybe a power cycle or a break in the wire for your GPS module. And you'll see here in a second, now we've got 5 sats and it's still flashing. So you are now actually acquiring satellites and still flashing GPS rescue in op. That's because, hey, something's wrong here. We're not going to give you GPS rescue. Now that your threshold must be 8 sats, now it's happy again. But I don't know if I would trust your position to home arrow at this point. If you were paying attention and you weren't like super long range away from you and you were seeing that arrow pointing in a completely wrong direction, I would still assume GPS rescue is probably not a good option and to come on back. So that is my take on it. I would say interesting. Let's see that again. So 8 sats. We do a little bit of throttle punchy. Yeah. So it looks like it might be voltage related because when you throttled up, your voltage dropped to 3.2 volts, which is going to affect possibly the voltage output on your back and basically restart your GPS. Let's see, was that what happened back here? Let's see, is it on a throttle punch? No. It's hard to say. I would say that GPS module is probably dying. I would double check and see. I'm just guessing that you have a B8N GPS unit because that's just what everybody has because they're dirt cheap. See if it's wired up to the 5-volt rail. If it is, switch it over to 3.5. Actually, if it is, throw it away. Switch it over to the 3.5-volt rail and try that again. It's on a 3.3 volt pad. It's on 3.3. Okay. Yeah. Happens on throttle, but maybe a coincidence. Yeah, it is maybe a coincidence. Either way, I would assume that it's either dying or you have a bad connection somewhere. Yeah, I would toss it. There are a lot better GPS units out there that are bigger. 5-volt no good for GPS. Let me go grab one real quick. Bitch time. Dog's still here? Oh, there. All 3 are here. All 3 are here. It's probably good that they're all here, finally. All right. So anyways, here is your typical dirt cheap. Everybody uses GPS module. The brand and the name doesn't really matter. They're all the same. They are all like an M8N style GPS. And as you see, it does say it runs at 5 volts, but they fail prematurely if you run them at 5. Even though they say they can handle 5, they really can't. These really should be run at 3.5 volt, like on if you have a 3.5 volt rail, which most flight controllers do because Spectrum still exists. Run it off of that. 5 volts does usually make these die early. Yeah. And that's not just my experience. That's the experience of a lot of other people doing long-range builds. But if you're doing a serious long-range build, that's probably not the right GPS for you anyways. It's pretty weak sauce. Who was that? Morton, what quad is that on? Is it on like a a nano long range or something like that. Just curious. ESC noise interference can definitely do it. VTX interference definitely can cause loss of sats, but it doesn't look like you had a loss of sats. It looks like you had a loss of data. Buy bags, yeah, 5 volts, no good for GPS. They are cheap enough. Just replace it. If you still have issues after you replace it, then I would start looking towards your power supply. Not so much power supply, but like your flight controller and its power supply. Flying Ryan says run it on a VFly GPS mate. Yeah, that would be, if you have the space. I don't really know exactly what your build is, but this is probably the way to go, is one of these little guys here. It's power source for your GPS, so it's separate from your quad. So if your quad crashes, this thing has a battery on it and it's going to keep powering your GPS. It has a buzzer on it. And the nice thing is you can actually turn this on, go sit the quad down, let it acquire satellites, then power up the rest of your rig, and you'll get sats instead of having to wait forever. Especially with these little M8N GPSs, they freaking suck, and they take forever to acquire sats if you're not in like super clear sky. So if you're looking for a different GPS unit, something a little higher end, you don't need compass unless you're running iNav. Betaflight really doesn't do anything with a compass, but you can step up a little bit. The Nameless Tiny GPS, it's better. It's not a ton. Yeah, actually, it's not very bad. It's not better. This is the one I was thinking of here, is the M8Q. It's a bit bigger, and I've had better luck with it. It seems to be affected a little less by outside influence, being like VTX signals. Like a branch from a tree hanging over the quad won't block the GPS on it. It's a little more. It's a little more accurate. It is also like 3 times the price, 4 times the price. But yeah, this is a good one. And also the other good one is the Maytech one. This is a great GPS unit, but you're paying for a compass, which you don't need to hook up. You don't need to hook up the IC squared pads, the CL and DA. You can just run it as GPS. And like I said, Betaflight, it doesn't do anything with the compass. So that's a very good GPS. They're also physically larger as well. Just something to consider. IDQ basic GPS. Yeah, it's the same as everything else. It's just they put their sticker on it. Morton says it's a 4-inch. It was meant to be a 2S lithium ion. Started became 4S lithium ion when I realized it couldn't get below. Yeah. Speed says I've had good luck with the RDQ M8. Yeah, it's not a bad GPS. It's just not good. Like you start looking at all the M8 minis. Like, let me bring this one up here and this one here, and then there's a bunch of other brands. They're basically the same GPS. And they're very, very sensitive to other crap in the way. Maytech pisses them off with their bunk ELRS receivers. Yeah. Just got the Access Fine GPS. It is okay. See what GPS unit they use. Yeah, the M8, the M80Q is. This is like if I was going to do a long range build, this is about the minimum GPS I would put in there is an M8Q. It doesn't matter what company it is; it's all the same. They literally slap their own stickers, or the M80Q. They actually, every company just slaps their own sticker on the RF can. But yeah, it's a bit bigger than the M8N. But if you're looking for something that you're gonna have to kind of rely on, this is about the bare minimum where I would go is a M80Q. Let's see, Mike Burger says they're hit or miss. Which one are you referring to? Access Flying GPS. They're also made at, very poor quality. You just never know what you're going to get. Because these are like industrial jelly beans made by whatever factory's kicking them out, Flying Access doesn't make this. Some other company does. They just slap their sticker on it. Yeah, Morton, no problem, man. That's what we do. Let's see, 11:15 here. Matex ELRS RX, they're hit or miss. I gotcha. What problem did you have with yours? That was you, Mike Berger, our friend, that said they had issues with it, right? Curious what issues you have. ELRS, everything. Yeah, that's right. It's in the freaking title. Why am I not doing this? Yes, that's right. ExpressLRS 3.0 is official as of 2 days ago. If you bring up your configurator, the configurator hasn't changed, but 3.0.0 is now the latest release version. Let's go and take a peek here. This was done 2 days ago. So if you want to be on the bleeding edge and not on a nightly, 3.0.0 is out. As always, arming on aux 1. Must flash the TX and RX. You cannot use ExpressLRS 2. anything receivers with 3.0 transmitters and vice versa. Everything has to be on the same major version. Major version being the 3. Or the the V3. And these are just minor versions. So like you can do V3.1 with 3.0 as long as they don't specifically say you can't do that. But that's how the naming scheme goes. Everybody was getting all whipped up with certain people saying that you'll never be able to fly an AIO board with 3.0. That is not true. Just like I predicted, somebody was working on it. And it looks like it's going to get merged into the Betaflight master branch. So you can get the builds here if you want. Where's it at? I know it's here. See. But yes, there is a way to do it right now, kind of early before it gets adopted into Betaflight. So wouldn't worry too much about it. FLRC mode, Deja Vu, Diversity, Aid. I don't know what the heck that is on top of that 5C mode. Interesting. Higher resolution, full channels, LBT for EU compliance because FCC firmware is not legal in the US, which is a big reason why FrSky killed off D8 because D8 was an FCC only protocol. Every person across the pond that got a Tyrannus, first thing it did was flashed FCC firmware to it so they could have more than like 10 milliwatt output. So to basically be able to sell their radios in the EU, they had to kill off D8. to be in compliance. So, plus D8 should die. D8 is hot crap. Nobody should be using it. But unfortunately, that leaves you at what, like 100 milliwatts to be in EU compliance. Increased precision over 2.0 firmware, 25% better stick precision in the typical range that our sticks move. Interesting. Very interesting. New features, Wi-Fi based Betaflight configuration through the receiver module. Very cool. Loan a model. This is something that FR Sky did with the Access protocol, where you can have 2 radios powered up and say, hey, you want to fly my drone? Here you go. And it sends the bind key to a different radio, which is really cool. Dynamic bind phrases, I couldn't care less about that. PWM servo output, I don't care about that. Lua configure for receivers. I think it's going to affect diversity receivers more than anything. Feedback for PWM receivers, that's going to help out the wing folks. Lua shows transmit power, BTX administration without drilling down. Oh man, that's a life improvement right there. Web UI update with tabbed options. I have not flashed anything with ExpressLRS 3.0 yet. I don't know if you guys can even read that. There we go. Much more bigger. Functionality changes. Rewritten dynamic power. I still do not trust dynamic power on anything. We were talking about it on Discord last night. TBS, they f***ed me hard with dynamic power. It's like 100 yards away doing something I shouldn't have been doing. And then when I had a failsafe right about the time when dynamic power switched, complained about it. They said there's zero issues with it. Nope, dynamic power for the win. And then the next update was a complete rewrite of dynamic power. So I swore off dynamic power from there on. I want to be able to pick my power. I don't want it doing it for me. Race telemetry ratio. That's going to be nice. Factory default now defaults to 250 for 2.4. Okay. Enhancement, bug fixes, new Lua. Long press button receivers, reset RX configuration. That's nice. It sucks when you sell a model to somebody, or you get a used model and it already has a config written to it. It'd be nice to be able to reset it to 0 so you can do the 3-plug binding thing. Very nice there. Telemetry bandwidth has increased. So that's nice. A couple new targets. Known issues when performing Wi-Fi updates. Some transmitter modules may get bad size given error. If you get this error, it can be remedied by either flashing via UART or flashing the whatever word that is. We're flashing via Wi-Fi after it's completed. So sounds like there are some, like one little bug that they know of, but that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I know Ciati's got the same feeling about dynamic power. That, yeah, it lost a session. It was my first like real legit acro quad. Lost the whole damn thing in a something that was traveling on rails that I was not going to be able to get it back. Yikes, right? Oh, back to chat. Oh wow, chat's moving fast. Let's see. Flying Ryan update and everything as we speak. Good for you, buddy. Just make sure you update that Lewis script. Waiting on the official release. This is the official release. Is there a Phobos fork crazy B for firmware? I don't know. I'd have to look. ELRS 3.0. You can check it out here. Let's see. But I'm having an issue flashing the HAPPY Slim Pro 2.4 right now, though. Well, check out that link at the bottom of the release page. Anytime you guys upgrade ExpressLRS, the first thing that they give you the option to do is to see the release notes. If you're upgrading, like let's say you're going from 2.0 or 2.50 to 2.51, check the release notes, because it may just be that it's a new target and there's 0 bug fixes. I mean, there is on this one, but you know, maybe there might be a reason. There might be no reason to upgrade other than just changing the number on it, you know. So always check that release, the release notes there. Bobby Bag says, if I flash ELRS 3.0 to my TX, I won't be able to fly my whoops. You will, but you will have to update your whoops as well. Because you're talking that you have a SPI-based board on your whoops. There is a way to do it. I haven't really researched into how to do it too deeply yet, but that link I put in the chat, I'll put it in the I'll put it in the video description. Let's see. ELRS 3.0 SPI. All right, it's in the video description there, or will be in a second. Check that out. Make sure you follow the directions. It's not a straightforward, easy way to do it, like just flashing through Betaflight, but there's a little bit more to do. One visual, wanting to build a long range over the fall. Got a Neo M6 GPS module. I have no idea what that is. Let's go look. Paste. Interesting. Never messed with that before. It does not look like it's something for us, if this is what you have. Yeah, I have no opinions on that, other than I don't think it's the right thing. Mike Bergman says the Maytech and Jumper ExpressLRS receivers test crappy. Bardwell and Valenti have a section of the news here. Foot was itchy. Just doesn't make sense to change it when there are receivers that aren't having a problem. Yeah, I mean, stick with what works. Happy Mile seems, oddly enough, Happy Mile seems to be the gold standard as far as ExpressLRS goes. I have no idea why, but it is. Yeah, Morton says I knew they would support SPI. They'd have to. I mean, that would be they'd just be shooting themselves in the foot if they just said nope, none for you. Does 3.0 support SPI now? It doesn't directly, but there is a way to make it work. It's not been merged into the main build of Betaflight yet. There's a little side project working. The link in the video description if you want to read more about it. But you can make it work. You just need to do some extra stuff. Who cares about this hippie crap? I want to connect Betaflight through the Wi-Fi in my receiver. I could care less about that option. The people I can see who would want that would be, I wonder if you could do it through SpeedyB if you had an iPhone, because that would be kind of cool. See, it says I lost my cinematic rig with a Hero 8 in the ocean because of dynamic power. Never again. Yeah, and I know you take a lot of shit for saying no dynamic power, and I'm right there with you. The hell with dynamic power. If you don't know what power you need, maybe you shouldn't be flying. You need to know your limits and not let software fix it for you. It's the only thing software can do is let you down. Spander, how you doing? Oh boy, the chat just did the jumpy thing. I can't stand that. Dynamic power works very well in ELRS. Yes, it does, but I have seen one time I was out pretty far and I had a little micro failsafe right about the time when it switched. Or at least that's what I think it was. I still don't trust it. Still don't trust it. Yeah, I know people are saying dynamic power and ExpressLRS is good. I'd just rather set my hard limit on it. I mean, when you're flying with 250 milliwatts, who gives a shit about dynamic power? It just says 250 and go fly. You know, it's like, it's not going to make a difference. YouTube. Why do you gotta make the chat move? It did the thing. I've had a few models that have GPS in them. I have one that just, it takes 20 minutes to acquire sats, and I just fly it anyways. I know it's absolutely useless in that case. And then I have another one that acquires sats like that. It's really weird. Same GPS receiver too. I know there's a variance in the build quality on those, big time. As for ExpressLRS receivers, here's my preference. If I'm integrating into something that would normally use Crossfire, like it has the pinout or it has a buddy board, stacking board, I'll use the Beta Flight or the Beta FPV Nano receiver. I like those. They have an amplifier and a telemetry side of it. I really like them. The antennas that come with them are very nice. As far as like teeny tiny receivers like the EP2 style, I prefer the Happy models, EP2s, EP1s if I want that small form factor. I do like the Beta Flight, or god dang, not Beta Flight, the Beta FPV Nano receivers. I know people are like, oh, Beta FPV, they make bad receivers. No, shut the fuck up. The one that they made bad was the one with the flat antenna. The V1 with the flat antenna. This one here was hot garbage. There's a V2 where they fix their issues. This one sucks. The V1 sucks. The V1.1, it's good. It works. It's not meant to go more than, put it in a whoop and fly it around your house. That's about all that's good for. I wouldn't use that in anything that I'm flying outdoors that I would have to worry about it fail-safing. But this is a good receiver. I've had a lot of success with this, zero issues with it, and the reason I like this one a little bit more than the Happy Model one is, boom, they silkscreen the damn pin out on it. Like, if the Happy Model ones had the silkscreen printout, I would probably use those instead. For some reason, that makes it better in my eyes, just because I don't have to look up the damn pinout. But the receiver I like to use, if it originally had a pinout for like a full-size receiver, is this one here. These are very good receivers. The antennas are good. Happy Model makes great receivers. The antennas are hot garbage. I hate their antennas. I would buy a Happy Model receiver and then buy a pack of like Ghost or Beta FPV antennas for them. I've had a lot of Happy Model ones fail flashing, but that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's user error or what, but it's happened a lot to me. And it was always going from V1.00 to anything else. I would have a failed flash, had to have to wire up the FTDI adapter and flash away with that, but it might just be me. Speedy Turtle, second round of Speedy Cares package going out tomorrow. Awesome, man. Glad that thing's still going, and you've only gotten screwed over once, if I'm correct. I'm honestly surprised it's not more. People suck. I live in a world where software dictates what we can do. Gross. What wings do you have? I have a Timber X. I have a Raptor Delta wing. A Zode Nanotalon. That's the one that it's all held together by magnets. And then the one I really like is this one here. This is a Night Radian. This one's actually a flight test Night Radian. It's got like 300 LEDs in it. It's pretty cool. It's a powered glider. And I have flown almost none of them one time. I've flown... I really haven't flown any of them. I've flown them a few times. I don't know. I want to get a fixed wing that's small enough that I can fly it in the backyard here. Well, the front yard, but it just... I don't know. I hardly have time to fly drones, like the race drones as it is, so... TK, welcome to... How you doing, man? Brandon McBean says, I put GPS on 3.3 and plug my phone in and use Betaflight to check sats. So I kind of do the same thing. I put my quad outside and I put it on a power bank, just a USB power bank, which I thought I brought one out. Guess I didn't. Oh, right here. I put it on this little guy, and on those models, I like to make sure that my receiver powers up on USB, and so does GPS. I'll go in the house, I'll turn my radio on, and I'll just go to my telemetry page and just watch until I get sats. Go out there, plug the quad in, and go. But I sit in the house, and I watch it on the telemetry screen of my radio. Or the car, or wherever you're at. Yeah, and the whole dynamic power thing is like there's always rewrites to the algorithm. I don't know. What are you gaining by letting software adjust your power output rather than just set it to what you think your absolute max is going to be and just run with it? Why? I don't understand the reasoning. Are you trying to save a couple milliamps of battery life in your radio? I don't understand the reason. Why do we need dynamic power other than it's just a selling feature? Morton says this race day quad's banned a GPS receiver stick forever. Yeah. Access Flying and Maytech have been my go-to ELRS receivers for me. Okay. Hey, if they're working, they're working. Yeah, people suck. Sorry, not sorry. Right. Night Radian. Yeah, that's what it is. Night Radian. The Zode Dart 250 is a great park flyer. I put FEV and everything in that Nano Talon. I only flew it once or twice. Crashed it. That was weird. Price is driving everything. Yeah, driving everybody out of the hobby. Part of the video I did on the TX12 is when this radio, the original TX12 came out, this thing was like $65. It's like $109 now. And that's 2 years. That came out in 2020. Motors, $100 a set, even what parts are getting up there. Any decent flight controller stacks costs almost as much as the whole diatone quad did back in 2019. Yeah, and unfortunately, people who know what the prices used to be, this is a very bitter pill to swallow. People getting into the hobby now see that it's, oh, man, it's $170 for a stack and, $100 for a set of motors. It's just, that's all they know. If you knew that, an F4 flight controller was $14 at one point, now that it's a $60 flight controller, it'd drive you nuts. It might be a angry ham radio guy. I could give two shits about that guy. Ishii Mini P51. There was there was a little park flyer that Rick Cepeda suggested, and I wanted to get one. I forgot about it. I forgot what model it was. I kind of want to get it. Okay, expander, not pointlessly blasting 1 watt. Well, most of my transmitters go up to 250, so in my case, I could care less about dynamic power. And while not actually flying, your radio should be fucking off. Toxic is about to put my Ender 3 in the trash when fighting with it for a month. Yeah. 3D printing can be super frustrating. And the shit part about fixed wing is we're all under... Oh, hang on. Here we go. Let's bring this up just so we can get this out of the way. 5 days, manufacturers. You have 5 days. Get your shit straight. The bad part about this whole remote ID thing, and we're going to take a hard left-hand turn here, is it applies to people who fly fixed wings in parks as well if they're over 250 grams, which is an awful lot of them. So, yeah. Most people think it's just quads, but it's actually fixed wings as well. Yeah, ham guys don't care about 5824. Thoughts tweet. What am I thinking? Switch slowly to fixed wing. I mean, fixed wing are okay. I don't find them as fun as quads, if that's what you're asking me about. Yeah. Well, it keeps the heat down, but all these modules, if they're produced properly, are able to take all the heat they can possibly generate. If the module fails because it has too much heat, then the module is a poor design and it shouldn't be used. Even the T-Pro pumping 1 watt got hot as hell, but if you look in the spec sheet for the LoRa modules, it's well within their safe operating limits. So the fact that I want to keep it cool is entirely a consumer-driven idea that cooler is better, even though it is better, but it doesn't make a difference. I want to do some fixed wing FPV. I've done it. It makes me sick. You don't realize how stuttery everything is, even on stabilized wings. If you are anyway prone to motion sickness, it will drive you nuts. Brandon says my radio will sag at 1 watt. Oh man. Yeah, fixed wings are still super cheap to build because you can just go pick up some political signs, some chloroplast, and go fold that shit up into into an airplane. I mean, there's so many signs just sitting by the side of the road that nobody ever picks up, and just go grab that thing. Brandon says I like 500 milliwatts dynamic for long range. Could probably use 250 even though. Well, what is dynamic doing for you, Brandon, in that 500 milliwatt dynamic or long range scenario? Why not just leave it set at 500? Why add one potential point of failure to the entire chain if you don't need it? It's like putting 3 new props on, but I'm going to leave one that's beat to hell. Why? Why add that one extra thing in? You fly us up a little more exciting. Tony Hawk's old as shit now, dude. Yeah, also, Mitch, one of the things with me and fixed wing is they confound me. I have no idea how to fly a fixed wing. Like, I can fly a quad all day long, fly the balls off of it. I get into fixed wing, I'm like, why did I fall out of the sky? Oh, you weren't giving enough throttle. Like, but what? Oh. All right. I just need to force myself to go out and fly a fixed wing. It's really what it comes down to. Anytime I go to the field, I usually bring a fixed wing with me, but I have quads to fly, and I just don't get around to flying the fixed wing. The yaw wag is annoying. Yeah, that must be what it is. It's the camera just constantly like hunting around. Morton, great point. If your radio is low on power, that's a good reason not to fly in full power. Has anybody built a 360 FPV camera with head tracking software? Not that I know of. Keeps the fan off when I'm nearby testing stuff. Kicks in 250 milliwatts, but very quickly leaving the area. Still, I don't see the point of adding a point of failure into the system. Or a potential point of failure, I'll put it that way. I just run 500 milliwatts, don't get dynamic. Yeah, I usually run 500 milliwatts on just about everything I fly, except for long range, I fly like 150. What's the point of dynamic? It will dynamically scale up your power output based off of SNR, or is it RSSI? I can't remember which one it is. Again, I don't see the point. Now, I see the point. All right, there is a point, like with TBS with a 2-watt transmitter. If you set it at 2 watts and you go walk up to your quad, you will fry, potentially, your receiver. That's a good case for dynamic power. But also, if you're on a TBS and you're running 2 watts, you sure as better know what you're doing, because you have 2 watts for a reason. If this is something that's lost on you, then perhaps you're doing things wrong. There needs to be a certain level of competency before you start blasting 2 watts of power. How old is Tony Hawk now? Is he older than I am? Oh. Yeah, he is. He is 54? Holy shit. Yikes. Less radiation on your balls. That's not how it works, Brandon. Stop that. That's not how that works. It's non-ionizing radiation. Muscle memory is a B. Yeah, no kidding. Expander, yeah, I agree. They did do a good job implementing it, but my question is why use it? I don't see a lot of upside to it. My knees hurt looking at his age. Jeez. All right. We're getting towards the end of the here, and not the end of the end of the stream. YouTube is telling me I should insert an ad break. I'm not going to do that. F those guys. Although maybe I should play nice to them. I haven't uploaded a traditional video in two weeks. Eventually, they're just going to kick me off or something. I don't know. Here we go. I love how there are so many new Crossfire versus ELRS posts lately. What do you mean, ELRS versus Crossfire? All right, guys, it's getting close to the end of the stream. It is 11:50 here. Joshua Barwell should be sparking up his live streaming rig here in about 10 minutes after his 15-minute intro song. Hope to see you guys over there. And then also after Bardwell streams is the one, the only, Mr. Aaron Ciotti. If you have not stopped in on Ciotti stream, I highly recommend it. A lot of craziness ensues. Typically very little bit of work, but hey, you know, you get an A for effort and trying. Bobby Baggs said, I heard a lot of people have been losing their YouTube channels. Do you know how? Mostly people are getting their accounts hacked and denied access to their creator dashboards. YouTube does offer two-factor authentication. If you have a YouTube channel and you are worried about losing it, I would turn that on. Same thing with Discord. A lot of the attacks are coming through Discord as well. Turn on 2FA. If you have moderators on Discord, make sure they are running 2FA. You can actually set it in your options where moderators have to do a two-factor. Free Range Chicken, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to support me, go to tweetfv.com and you can find all the support links over there on the support me page. These folks up here, the Patreon supporters, they are the ones that keep this whole shit show running. Sorry, oh, you beep for that one. You subscribe to me for as little as $2 a month. There are special benefits. You get access to my Patreon-only section of Discord, and you get early access. To my monthly giveaway. I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to do it right after the live stream. It's going to be good. For this month's giveaway, it's Morton Upshot 2-Factor is such a pain in the ass, and it's BS that we have to live in that world. I 100% agree with you. It sucks. I really hate it. But unfortunately, that's where we're at. Toxic FEV, $10. Much love, brother. Thank you so much, Mike Bergman, for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I have my back closet cleared out of all the extra stuff. I sent it up to my Patreon members first. They had first crack at all the stuff in the Tweet garage sale. I'm going to put it on my general Discord chat after this, and then after that, it's going to go up on the World Wide Web on my website. And if nobody wants that, then I'll probably just throw it in a Speedy Cares crate because, hey man, give that dude some support. He's doing such a great thing. What was that beep? Oh, that was a Discord beep. Oh, that's right, Athix. We got to talk about this thing. We have got to talk about this real quick. So close to buying a GoPro 10, and then I saw this bad motherfucker show up. That is now that is coming up. It should probably be middle of the month. That thing will come for sale. I'm hoping it works as well as I'm hoping it does. Let's face it, the Session 5. The video quality is hot trash compared to things out there right now. It's the weight that makes it worth flying. I am super excited for this guy to come out, this Hero 11 Mini Black Mini, whatever you want to call it. Also, the Insta360 X3 just released. It's like camera hell for me. Like, I want to buy that camera. My existing 360 camera is... Hang on a second. Is right here. If you can see it. It's stuck in this quad. It's not that hard to get out. I just don't want to do it. And I kind of want to just leave it in this thing because this takes flying to a different level. Just the things you can do in post with a shot. And I kind of want that X3 quite badly. But I've got two Session 5s. I keep flying them, and compared to my Hero 8, God, the video quality is just not where it should be. Not where it should be, or not where I would like it. So if that thing is at least somewhat light and has the video quality that's the same, it's supposed to have the same specs as the Hero 11. That's going to be awesome for us. F that Bones thing. I'm tired of flying naked cameras. that'd be the way to do it. Is brushless. Where are we at? Where in the chat? Wrong way. Change lights to green. I hope you guys like the controlled lights. I don't know what's up with these guys. These guys have been like super reliable, but today there was an update and now they don't work. So I've always got to mess with it to make it work. Spanner says I have a 1 watt module putting EP2s in my 5-inch freestyle quads, but I see no point in always blasting full power, wasting battery, and keep fan running. Yeah. Okay, that's a good reason. I just wouldn't rely on it in a flight. You can also set up model match, and you can make certain models, like let's say you're flying a micro. You can make it so when it hooks up, when it pairs to that model, or when you select that model in your radio and it connects to that quad, you can make it set to like 25 milliwatts. You don't have to be blasting 1 watt all the time. Model match is a very powerful feature, and I think more people really need to look at it. It does add a little bit of complexity, but I think it is probably what people should be doing. Is it confirmed real? I'm pretty sure it's confirmed real. There's a lot of... well, I mean, you never know until it comes out, but I think it's going to happen. But we'll see. Mike Bergman, I missed the garage sale notice. You seem to miss all the Discord and Patreon notifications. It's on my sorry, it's on the Patreon only section of my Discord, and it's also in I think I posted on Patreon. Maybe I didn't. No, I posted on Patreon, so it's there. Brandon says I need to bug my... Brandon, please do. I won't tell anybody. I want to know. And by the time I got in, the stuff I wanted was gone. Sorry, buddy. There's no way to make an invisible quad for X3, though. Why do you say that? There's not much difference between that and the 1RS. You talked for 3D printing for 20 minutes. Yeah, sorry, man. Brandon McBeans, I love model match now. Let's stop trying to make me stop using dynamic. I'm not trying to make anybody do anything, but I'm wanting you guys to sell me on it, is really what it comes down to. So on Patreon, okay. Brandon says I actually don't use dynamic on my race or freestyle model profiles. Interesting. Why is that? The X3 is way thinner, isn't it? Oh, actually, I think it's actually... Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. If it's too thin, you won't be able to. Yeah. Well, you'd have to just make a thinner quad. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. It's like ExpressLRS 3.0. Is it going to work for... is it going to work for... SPI boards? Where there's a will, there's a way. Someone will figure it out. Someone will figure out how to pack an X3 into a quad. But then again, why would you if there's the 1RS, you know? And if anybody is interested in getting a Insta360 X3, there is an affiliate link. I would greatly appreciate it if you use that. Helps me out a fair bit. Let's take a look at X3 here. Let's see if we can find some specs on it. Specs. What is the thickness? They don't say. Oh, there it is. Let's see, 33.1 metric units. 33. I don't know. She's pretty thick then. Yeah, that could definitely be a put into an invisible quad. So here's 33 millimeters ish, and here is my invisible newbie drone quad. I don't know if that's to get it out of the stitch line, but I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. It'll be close. It'll be close. It's thicker than the 1X2 is. If you've seen any side-by-side comparisons, it's definitely thicker than the 1X2. The resolution for the 360 isn't any better from what I'm understanding, though, so I don't know. I wanted that form factor camera for a while. I got a good deal on this 360 1R, and I've had a ton of fun using it. Okay, Brandon, that makes total sense. Why ramp it up? Okay, and you're using a like a 1 watt module too. So that was my point. Is I'm using a 250, so I just ran it full tilt anyways. But I guess if I had a 1 watt, I'd probably set up dynamic on my long range. V6 is here to help. It's always here to help. All right, guys. It is 12:01. That does it for me today. I meant to do a super chat giveaway, but we'll do it. We'll do it next time. But anyways, thank you so much for coming out. Highlight of my week doing this. Love interacting with you guys in real time. If you want to keep the party going, head over to tweetfv.com. Click that Discord link in. It's an invite to Discord. Come on over. We've got plenty of super smart guys over there. Mr. Baked Beans, he's doing a little side gig tuning off a black box for people. He's always over there offering his opinions and his help. Super good at tuning. One of these days we'll get that cola straightened out. I feel like we're close. I feel like we are close with that quad. It's doing everything wrong and we're trying to make it right. But hey, thanks for your help on that. I greatly appreciate it. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And as always, folks, stay positive. See you next time. Go fly. See you over on Bardwell's and Ciati's stream in about 45 minutes when Bardwell's intro song ends. We'll see you next time. Bye.